the Speedway Trails Association with Beverly Katterhenry. How unique is Speedway?
Speedway is unique in that very few towns anywhere have two abandoned railroads within a short distance of each other at the angle that they have, that we can connect them. So when we get our finished trail done, the main one that we're working on, you can start at Main Street Speedway, go down Main Street to the B&O, take the B&O to Eagle Creek, the Eagle Creek over to 465, and then take the Peoria Eastern back to Main Street, and it's 5 miles. It'll be a 5-mile circle within the town of Speedway.
Well, and this year for the Diamond in the Rough,
Yes.
that 5 miles will be the longer,
Right.
including the older short ride now with
Correct.
this extension. There's a 3.5 and a 5.
A 4.5.
4.5,
We can't quite go to 465 just yet because they're working on it. There's
But still,
equipment there.
But still, there's going to be the two distances,
Right.
and this will be the first year that there'll be two distances
Yes.
for the walk, run,
And that's
hike.
because the Speedway Redevelopment Commission just finished Main Street. We have a bike path on Main Street and we have a large sidewalk, so now we could use Main Street. And we want to show the importance of bike paths to our neighbors.
Okay, we should explain that the Diamond in the Rough is roughly shaped a diamond, and it's been in a rough condition.
Once the B&O hits Eagle Creek, it's on top. It follows Eagle Creek Trail on top of the levee. At 21st Street, it goes down to creek level, pretty much creek level, and it goes underneath the 21st Street Bridge and pretty much overgrown. We cleared some, but we got it good enough for the few people that were going on it. But yeah, north of 21st Street is down at creek level pretty close.
And then the pathway goes up onto the old Peoria Eastern right-of-way, right
Yes.
near Marsh, turns in this clockwise manner, turns eastward and really sort of southwestward. And now it's on the P&E right-of-way, which is more of an 11 o'clock type, 5 o'clock
Correct.
angle. And that follows Crawfordsville Road, well, behind a few Marsh and a few stores, but then follows Crawfordsville Road all the way over to
Main Street.
Main
16th Street. 16th Street.
to 16th Street and
Yes.
Main Street.
Yes.
And then follows Main Street to the B&O where Zip has been, and then follows the B&O back. At 11 o'clock angle.
It's rough. We can't call it a race. It's not a timed event. It's a casual family get-together or bike ride or walk or run. So we really can't advertise it as a race because we're concerned about people getting hurt. If it's a casual thing, then they could take their time and it's less likely to get hurt. So until we get it paved, it's going to be a rough walk and not a whole lot of advertising for it.
So the Diamond in the Rough began in 2008.
Yes.
Then it's been run in 2009, 2010, and 2011 will be the fourth year. But 2008 and 2009 were standalone events.
I think only 2008 was standalone. And we decided that we didn't like being by ourselves and nothing to do afterwards. We had 360 people come out for an hour-long event, and we wanted to give them more. So I asked the Speedway Chamber of Commerce. Connie Harris is president of that, and they had donated some money to trails. They saw that it was important. They donated money to trails. And I said, Connie, we appreciate your money, but we want to do an event, but do you have anything that you want to do? Is there something that you're looking forward to doing? Is there something you want to do that we can combine our efforts? And she goes, well, yeah, we want to have a chili cook-off, but we just don't know where or when. And so I suggested we are going to do our event that year in the fall instead of in the spring. We decided to move it. And she says, well, I think we could do that. So Speedway Chamber of Commerce and Connie Harris and I started planning the Diamond in the Rough and the chili cook-off. And she came up with a cornhole contest and things for kids to do because we needed a little bit of time between the two events, but we also needed things for people to do between the two events. So we have little things for kids to do, games and stuff for kids. And at that time, Barbara Lawrence, the Speedway town manager, said, but the Lions Club wants to have a parade. do you think we could have a parade that day also? The more the merrier, as far as I'm concerned. The more people that know about it, this is an awareness. It started off as an awareness campaign. It wasn't about money, it's about letting people know what's available and what's possible. So that's when they decided to have the parade. So this is the 4th year. 2011 is the 4th year for Speedway Trails and the 3rd year for the parade.
What have you found out about trails? You must have gone out and visited some trails in other parts of the state, or you've read about them, or other people have told you stories. What are some of the things now over the past 4 years that you've learned about trails that you didn't know, and what are you learning about funding? You've applied for some big-time funding.
Okay, well, let's go with the first question. My son lives in D.C., in Vienna, and they have the W.O.&D there. I think that's it.
The Washington Old Dominion Railroad.
Yes, there you go. W&OD, there you go. And right there in Vienna where he lives, they had their 200-year anniversary, and they built a park along the railroad. They have historic buildings along their, not railroad, trail. Mm-hmm. And I've been there and taken pictures and walked it and gotten ideas on how we could do ours. And I was talking about Scott Harrison, the Redevelopment Commission, and building between Main Street and Poco. And he says, what does the trail want? Just throw out any idea and we'll go from there. And one of our members mentioned restrooms and water. And Scott thought that was a pretty awesome idea, so I showed him the pictures of the W.O.&D in Vienna, and they have restrooms, they have a stage, they have a caboose. It's really a neat little park of what. So Town of Speedway could do that for the Main Street in Vienna. We decided in Speedway we wanted it paved, we want it accessible and usable by wheelchairs and baby carriages. So we want everybody to be able to get on the trail, and we felt like it had to be paved in order for baby carriages and wheelchairs to get on it. We've got a pretty big diverse group here in Speedway. We've got a lot of babies. At my church there's a lot of babies. And then we also have the retired people too.
At some point you're thinking about funding. So besides having the PR event and getting some small funds from there, you're thinking of the larger trail system and how to get funding. Explain the developmental steps that you've gone through to develop the funding mechanism.
Back to my hand-drawn map, and it had a lot of possibilities on it. And I went to Green 3 is the name of the company that develops trails. And I went to them and I said, we need money. Can you help us? Can you tell us what's out there? And she came out and walked the trail with me and saw what Speedway had available. And she went back to Bob Bronson at DNR and says, you aren't going to believe what I just found. And she was really excited. And they had the recreational trail grant. We got our first grant. Dawn with Green 3 got the RTP grant for us.
And that grant will do what over what distance?
It'll do about 1.25 miles.
It'll pave?
Pave.
Will it be hard asphalt?
Yes.
Okay, not
dirt.
Not a ground asphalt.
No, not millings.
Not millings. Okay.
No, it'll be paved hard asphalt from Main Street, and we got to work out the details with the Redevelopment Commission, all the way up to the store section.
You make some money, but I take it that money is only a part of this. It's the public relations of getting the idea of the B&O as a trail and the Peoria and Eastern as a trail. Over the past 4 years, what have you seen with public relations? The results of public relations?
It's turning positive. Very, very few people are against trails. Very few people don't want to see them in Speedway. It's just everybody. The Speedway Redevelopment Commission is redeveloping Speedway and bringing new life to the industrial parks and the town of Speedway. And most people now see that trails are a benefit to the town. Benefit for business, benefit for your health, benefit for your neighbors, recreational. Most people, the growth in the last 3 years of the awareness of trails and the importance of trails is just, in Speedway, is just amazing. Before most people didn't care, didn't know. Didn't know, so they didn't care, and didn't know this trail was here, so they didn't care that much about trails. The closest one was downtown, and they didn't care that much about going in that area.
Wow. Okay, well, clearly your plate's full for the next couple of years or so.
Speedway's unique. How many towns have 2 abandoned railroads and 2 trails that are Indiana future trails, planned trails? It's very rare that you have that many trails in one small area.